I think we live right now.
We should have it.
Okay. Let's get it. All right. Let's have a good time. I'm just setting it up so I can see you guys' comments as well. You're welcome for the PDFs, that's for sure. Peace to Dorbo Wula. Peace to the family. Let me take my volume down. It's distracting me. Welcome back. Thanks, Nick. He said, welcome back from the live BS. Yes. As you may or may not know, because we're about to dive right into the first part of the session. You know, anytime I got a class or a session coming up, app coming out, anytime I'm doing anything major, PDFs were lit. Thank you. Keep in mind, you're going to need your UCC Accelerated Course PDF too. So while I'm talking, make sure you have that on deck as well. So get your UCC Accelerated Course out PDF. We're going to start off with that. That comes from a previous course, but I'm having a somewhat different conversation for some of those slides. I'm just giving it to you as a concession for just participating in this particular live stream. Remember, you guys will have this access to this live stream for 7 days from Monday, just to be fair. So this weekend don't count. Starting Monday, you have it for 7 days. Okay, so that means from Monday to Monday, you get to keep it. The PDFs, of course, are yours. I'm not going to say return them PDFs and email me back. I'm not going to do that. All right, so the PDFs are yours because I want you to follow along. Let me also say this. Today's class is not abbreviated. It's actually extended. And the reason why I'm saying that is I feel uncomfortable teaching certain things and you're not having the tools or the resources or the conviction to feel comfortable enough to go out and apply it. So here's what I'm going to do. I could have jammed everything up into these classes. I'm giving you guys 2 free classes, one wealth stewardship, one health. And those free classes are going to be based on you guys doing homework. So if you look at the slides, it says homework. Why? Because when we convene again, I want you guys to actually do something that you learned. Do as many things as you can on the health side and do as many things as you can on the wealth side. Why? Because you'll actually be active doing something. This would be like my form of mentoring you. This would be my form of coaching. Of course, mentoring, we get a lot of stuff done quicker, faster, more efficient. But since I'm doing this, it's the mentor in me that's like, you know what? I want to share this information, but I want to ensure that it just doesn't stay in the PDF. You hype after the class and you don't do nothing. So for the wealth stewardship, as well as the health or holistic mathematics, I have homework for you guys. There's things that I want you to do. Why? Because if you do it, you're closer to the information. You're in the process of applying it. And therefore, it's more relevant, so it's easier to remember. Because if you take the test that I tell you to take for the health course, if you take some of them, not even all of them, you understand better what to do. Or if you tell someone you love that's sick, hey, you got this autoimmune disease, take this test. When I show you the relevancy for why you took those tests, it becomes so real. I don't want to go into the health thing, pardon me. I'm doing the wealth thing first. So, as far as the wealth is concerned, I need you guys to do a few things for me for homework. And when we convene again, I'm going to give you that much more direction. I can easily teach these classes. No, I lay down the facts and get the heck out of here. I want to go the distance and give you exact phone numbers. I want to go the distance and make sure you got the exact affidavits or negative avertments. I want to go the distance and really make sure you got that stuff at your disposal. So you're not just, okay, I know I'm supposed to send these creditors this, but what exactly am I supposed to send? You see? That's kind of like leaving you out there like, okay, he told us we got to send them something to let them know we don't like what's going on. But then the class is over, you like, so anybody know what exactly to send? That we don't want. Sorry, I just wanted to look at the chat. It's all love, no doubt. Peace to the family. And I'm glad I could see y'all in the chat. So this time we got a chat room so we could build. Just us. And I think that's pretty cool. This time we got a chat room and just us alone we can build. And I think that's powerful. I might use a different streaming service later on in the future, though. It's going to be by way of the app when the app is out. So I'll fully update you guys on the free class. By it being free, it's just an extension of what you've learned yesterday, what you will learn today, because I want you to be able to use the information. So today I had planned to boil these herbs, show you what mixtures. But because of what we went over yesterday, I sat here and I said, man, you know what? I can't do this. But after telling them they need to take certain tests, I believe it'd be more relevant if you took the test first before I start showing you what herbs to blend, because you might be allergic to one of them. Okay? And some of them raise certain hormones in your body. And we've already discussed some of the do's and the don'ts. That's why today is called the do's and the don'ts. So I restructured the health part of the course today because I don't want to show you what to mix up and what to boil until I know at least most of you have taken the time out to get the hair mineral analysis or so forth and so on. I'm going to get out of there. I'm leaning more towards the health because I'm excited about that. Wealth-wise, I need y'all guys to call the insurance company. The 3 insurance companies I told you. Call 3 insurance companies, take notes, then call all 3 of them again. That's what I need you guys to do. Research, identity score. Research, Z-score. This is some of the homework tasks. Research those things. Come back to the table with that knowledge so things can make sense when I give you direction. What I believe would be so powerful is if you guys take this course and people are actually coming out of the course after walking with me for an extended period of time. That's why I'm creating extra classes as appendages. I think what would be powerful is if you say, man, I took Brother Polite's course and I ain't gonna front. I got approved for $80,000. I think that'd be so dope, especially if you send me a little something my way. But I think it would be real dope if you say, yo, you know what? I don't got high blood pressure no more. Or you know what? Your fibroids shrunk since you've been taking the course. I think that'd be so cool if you actually use the information and applied the information. I think that would be cool. So I've altered the approach of this course by adding an extra day and commissioning you guys to go out in the field, bring back your data so we can use it better together. So please don't fault me to that. I got enough knowledge. I can talk my way through both courses. In fact, I stayed on way longer than I planned to yesterday. But it's not about that. It's not about stretching the class longer. I mean, I could be done with this. I don't need to do no extra classes. But I can't help but to feel a little uncomfortable because I want to know that you actually know what to do. And that's why one of your slides, it tells you call the county government and say this, say that. When they say this, you say that. I'm designing this information. And as I do it, I'm going to get more perfected in what I do. I'm going to be more refined in my approach towards what I'm doing. So after I teach a class, I sit here. I say, I'm going to make sure I commit to everything I say I'm going to teach. But I also need to commit myself to making sure that you guys can facilitate without me. I don't want you looking at these slides and these PowerPoints and saying, damn, I felt good when I was sitting there listening to them, but dang, I feel bad now I'm sitting here looking at it by myself. I don't want that to happen. So let's get it on. We're together today. All right. And as far as the dramas that exist outside of here, prior to this, I apologize for my tardiness. Prior to me doing this stream, I was given a phone call ultimatum for me to come up with near 40 grand so people don't expose me. And it was attorney Akeisha and young Pharaoh, who, according to this brother, was contacted. He's a student at Long Beach University. I won't make this long because I know we have business to conduct. I just want to explain the lateness because it was an emergency that took place. And I want to disclose what the emergency is, so it's not air talk. Right now, as we speak, by the time we get off this stream, it'll probably be all over YouTube by the time we get off this stream. Because I know how these things are designed, you know. It's the talk, so people can have discussions about it. Why would they have a discussion about it? It's because when I got texts about a business endeavor that fell through over a year ago, in which I got an affidavit from representing the parties that I was doing the business with from Long Beach University. Their affidavit clearly stipulates that the agreement is moot, is null and void. And it clearly confirms that there was a lack of communication on behalf of one business partner to the other, which demanded that the agreement be nullified. I too also am part of the reason why that had to be nullified, because I didn't want to be part of the agreement when it was brought to my attention that these monies, I mean, this was texted to me and told to me on the phone, that these monies, partially in part, that represented the sum of 15 grand, came from illegal dealings with people on the streets. So when I found out it came from illegal dealings, and I got proof, I got the affidavit, I got all sorts of proof, I got text messaging and everything. When I found out that this money was illegitimate, I said I don't want to be part of it. And I've also texted that I don't want to be linked to cleaning dirty money. Whoever is out to possibly hurt you and taking this deal so serious that they may want to hurt somebody. I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, these people get their money from the streets, bro. They ain't like us. They ain't no college students. Where I got this money from? I'm like, yo, bro, if it's all of that, I don't even want to go through with the agreement. I don't care. Cut my losses early and I give you the bread back. I don't want to be part of that. So fast forward a year later, this assistant named Ashley Wright, who I used to speak to. It wasn't that deep. She's been telling everybody how I jerk these college students, and that's not true. And she knows that's not true because, number one, not only did I give them the $15,000 back, one of those students named Reggie called me again and said he was still in a little problems, a little contentions with these people from the streets who were expecting to get this money, that money, and the other. And what I did, I said, yo, here's the other money. As he told me, look, people are going to want to hurt this one and hurt that one. I said, you know what? Don't worry about that. And I considered that a subtle threat towards me. You know what I did? I said, it ain't worth my family being part of that confusion. I came out of the agreement in the first place when I found out it was illegal money, drug money or whatever, coming from these gang members or whatever the hell he was dealing with to get the money to invest because they wanted to get a flip. Once I found that out, I gave the money back. Now, am I asked you to take my word for it? You know what I did today? When he texted me and told me that Pharaoh and the attorney is calling him about it, when he called me about it yesterday, it was peace. Then he texted me today and said, yo, I got to respond. And that contract is still on. I'm like, still on? I got an affidavit that says the contract is over. And I paid you guys the 15 grand back. And I paid you 7 grand on top of it. Just so you don't have no drama or whatever. That's $22,000. That's almost half that which you put in, minus $500. So why? Now, my father, he's going to go to the media and he's going to talk with attorney Akeisha Shabazz, and he's going to talk with Pharaoh, unless you give me the money. What money? Give me the difference from what we expecting to get. Expecting to get what? I already gave you the refund and I gave you $7 grand on top. Because I didn't want to be part of none of that. You feel what I'm saying? Hold on real quick.
It was making you mad.
Okay. That's right. That's right. So what happened was, hold on real quick, people. Hey, peace, brother. Wow. That's crazy. Well, he got something else he got to deal with today, but I'm right now live. I'm doing my second session of the course. All right, peace, brother. So it begins. But basically, family, I'm looking to make sure I can see the chat, man. Let me leave my phone like this so I can see the chat. So basically, family, despite the fact that I have a written affidavit, a statement from those brothers making it clear that they've decided that this agreement is moot on behalf of the negligence and lack of communication on behalf of one of their other business partners, Reggie. On top of the fact, I still gave them the 15 grand back after that affidavit. Then I gave 7 grand more. And keep in mind, it is clear and it's a fact and it's been written that I wanted to be out once I found out that they invested monies that came from somewhere illegal. To the point that if things don't work out right, someone was going to get hurt and this, that. I'm like, bro, I don't need to be part of that. Keep that shit. On top of it, a year later comes, and Pharaoh and this attorney is asking anybody who has a problem with me not only to bring it out, but to embellish so it can be such an escalated issue that hopefully I could be in trouble. They don't care if it was drug money that I turned down. So I said, brother, I'm going to call you right now. It's a year-old plus situation. I'm going to call you back. I told him I was going to be going live. I said, yo, I'm going to go live. I'm going to be live teaching the class. In fact, I said, I am live teaching the class on my phone. I'm going to call you on my wife's phone. I made it clear. All of this, I text him. After I specifically asked him, didn't I give you the 15 grand? Didn't I give you extra 7 grand? Wasn't the agreement already null and void? I wasn't the one that canceled it, right? Y'all was the one that canceled the agreement, right? So why are you going to put me out there to be a scammer? Why are you going to put me out there to be a fraud? Why are you going to go to the media and accuse me of things that's not true when we know you guys canceled that agreement because of your negligence and because of the lack of disclosure where your funds came from? Now your father's supposed to come out against me and say that I'm a fraud and I've perpetrated this fraud against y'all college students. I said, that's not fair. He said, well, bro, when my father goes out to speak, he ain't going to come from a place that monies was coming from the streets to the college students and from the college students to Polite. He's going to come from the place that money came from college students invested into Polite. I'm like, y'all not going to say that I wanted to back out because it was illegal money? That's not what the story going to be. Mind you, I called him on my wife's phone and had this conversation live. I then asked him, am I lying about anything? He said, no. Are you lying about anything? He said, no. So I said, we both have no problem with each other on his phone because ain't nobody lying about nothing, right? He said, yeah. He didn't know or recollect that I told him I was going to be live. So I caught him live and direct. He made it clear, Attorney Akeisha Shabazz and Farrell put him up to this, and that his father was down with this, and that they would go out there, lie, and say I scammed college students with no regard to the fact that I didn't want to have no business dealings or want to conduct a transaction where the funds came from somewhere illegal. I got all of that recorded on my Facebook Live. I got it all recorded on my Facebook Live. Because they want me to give them $38,000. Otherwise, they're going to expose me and put it out that I stole money from them that I never stole, that I gave back because I didn't want to be implicated later on in the future if whoever he's making the money for or the combination of them all turns around, they get a case. I'm going to be the kingpin because they're going to associate every transaction I ever did, and conspiracy is a serious charge. They can make shit up. I don't want to be part of that. So I caught it live on Facebook, and that's why I'm late today. Because it happened just before class, and I couldn't miss the opportunity. And I normally don't respond to this stuff. Because I know if they would do their story, at the end of the day, I had proof that would show I backed out when I found out the money was illegal, because I got that written in text. I got it written in text. But guess what? It doesn't really matter, does it? Because forget a text, I got them live saying what their scheme was. I got them live saying what their scheme was to get this money out of me, or they're going to go live, go public and tell everybody that Ashley is right and I stole money from them, and they just going to tell their story, despite the affidavit, despite their nullification of the agreement, despite me giving them $15K, despite him calling me, telling me he in some trouble, and I gave him another $7,000 on top of 20. That makes $22,000. Despite this agreement being moot and no one calling me and saying nothing to me for over a year. Him confirming that Attorney Akeisha Shabazz and Farrell is the one calling him and telling him to push this story, this fraudulent ass story against me, and that his father is down with it, even though his father knows that the money came from the streets. That is illegal. And despite the fact, he confirmed that I did, in fact, want it out once I found out this money came from the streets or it was illegal money. He confirmed all of this live on Facebook. Facebook.com/Brother Polite. And now a couple people done took it and already posted it. See, I be patient. So without further ado, people, I just want you to know some of the crap that I have to deal with before I teach my class. So that's why I'm late. So proof of that is you can look at the time when that video went up. And of course, obviously, when I was done, I had to communicate with people in confidence as to how to approach the situation from this point forward. I tell you, the millions of views I get for saying inspirational things and motivational things to get people to eat differently, drink differently, think differently, to amass wealth. Never sleep on it. I got millions of views. It's going to create some problems. It's a fact. That's right. So it's beyond slander at this point. Because now that you're attempting to force me to continue doing business without payment. And I stopped the business and gave back the payment when I found out the payment was compromised. And if I don't do business on you guys' behalf, you're going to go out there on a smear campaign and alert the feds that I stole money from some peoples or tried to attempt to fraud some college students when y'all know that's not even true. You got your money back and more. But every time I turn around, we're gonna tell the feds on you. We can tell the feds on you. Yeah, the attorney and them, they on me. They calling me. So pardon me, family. I did have to vent some of that off, but I also want to explain to you why I was late. And again, when we're done, you can go to Brother Polite on Facebook. You go to facebook.com, Brother Polite, and I will be posting it on my YouTube channel. I will not make a habit of dealing with this type of foolishness day to day because I like to do my knowledge and I don't like to direct people towards this. But every now and then, you got to respond. Yeah, doing business under duress. Can't say better. So, without further ado, let's get to this information. Let's get to work. Ain't that wild? It's wild out here. Caught him. Wait till y'all hear it. You're gonna be like, damn, Polite actually caught him. Caught him. Caught him. And he mentioned everybody involved. He mentioned every single body that's involved. Caught him live. Caught him live. Yo, this is crazy. All because I turned down illegal money. Coming back a year later. So I guess Pharaoh and all them supposed to break up this money, huh? Oh boy. So no more of that. Let's go to the wealth stewardship. I hope you got both your PowerPoints out ready. Again, I apologize for my tardiness. This was a life situation. And now we get into your life situation, things that we have to do collectively as a people to make this thing work. So let me share the screen. I should have did the regular PowerPoint. Well, we got wealth stewardship. Get money now. Hold tight. Let's get ready. Let's get ready to put this work in. Just gonna use the bathroom. Hold on. Let's make this happen.
that.
Okay, family, so we now dealing with the wealth stewardship. Let's make this thing happen. Get the money now. I wanted to get straight to the point. I told you today's economic course would be a little shorter, but it still had to be a little long. I apologize for that. I'm not making it wordy or long. I do my best to keep these PowerPoint slides very concise. You can hear me, you can look at it, but I just need to make sure you got certain things in mind. So please do your homework. This is the first thing. Please do your homework. Call 3 insurance companies that will allow you to borrow against the policy. So let them know that you have intentions on borrowing against the policy. This is what I need you to do, because I want to stick with you guys straight into the time you make this bread. Of course, if you want to do the consulting or the mentoring, that of course will expedite things because I'll be more at your disposal individually. So of course the consultations are $200 an hour. And then the mentorship, it varies depending on if you're getting a 3, 6, or 9 different income stream program. But as far as dealing with the cost is concerned, the goal is to set you on your way and for me to do as good a job as possible to make sure that you know what to do or you have great strategy. So how about this for a strategy? You're going to call 3 different insurance companies that will allow you to borrow against the policy. And you're going to take notes from the first one that you call. New York Life Insurance would be a good one to start with, right? Then Term Life Insurance would be another one. I don't want to give you all the answers now. I want you to go out there and do a little research, because the more you are involved with this mission, the more you will be able to better assimilate or process the data corresponding with the same. So call 3 insurance companies. Let them know you want to borrow against the policy. Tell them that you want to access the cash value of the policy later on. Tell them you want to use the insurance as an investment vehicle. Use those kind of words so they don't send you somewhere you don't need to be. Because most people in our community, particularly when they got life insurance, they can't do nothing with it. They just only could die, right? So we want you to please do your homework, call 3 life insurance companies and say, hey, what is it you have to offer me? Take special note of all the things you like. Call another one and see first what they have to offer you. Compare and contrast. Call the third one. See what they can offer you. Compare and contrast between that one and the previous 2. Take all 3 and create your starting 5. Create your dream team. Take everything that you like from each of the 3 different insurance companies that'll let you know you could take advantage of the death benefit. I'm saying these different terminologies so you can take notes. So you're going to call 3 different insurance companies. You're going to let them know that you're going to take advantage of the death benefit. You want to take advantage of it. You want to access the cash value of the insurance policy. You want to borrow against the insurance policy. You're just contacting these entities, not to necessarily dive into anything, but you want to get into the conversation and let them tell you more than I'm telling you now and get the most updated information possible. And after the 3 of them say things that you love, you like, you appreciate, take the combination of everything you like from each of the 3 and make that what you want. Call a 4th one if you will, but definitely go back and call each of the 3 and say, hey, so now these are a list of things that I'm interested in having. I want to know if you could provide me all of the following, and if not, why? And then now they'll start catering to your specific interests and needs, and that's what you want to do. I also want you to look up identity score. And if it's hard to find it, put the word credit there. That's why I put the word credit here. I want you to look up Z-score. And if it's hard to find Z-score, put the word credit next to score. Look up Z-score. It's going to be very important because we're going to talk to you about how to get this money. Okay? And then I want you to go online and find out what are the tax deeds from the tax lien states. Find out what your tax deed states are. It's going to be very important. We need to know what the tax deed state is. And the reason why I want you to find out what the tax deed states are is because that's another way we can get access to some money very fast. So we can do it through credit and have your company co-sign you. Remember, I told you that in the previous session. So you could go back to the previous session. You have your company co-sign you. We also can access the value of the insurance policy, but that'll take longer. But that's an expenditure for the most part. That's something that's going to take place later on in the future, but it doesn't mean we shouldn't put it into effect now. So yes, an insurance policy is more in the realm of wealth stewardship, and it's more in the realm of an investment that takes a longer period of time. But what I'm going to show you is what can happen soon, a little later after, and somewhat a long time. And the combination of those three will put you in a great space when years come, because you'll be able to sustain yourself now, then, and even later after. So don't be discouraged. Be not discouraged by the fact that the insurance monies may take longer, because you're going to do other things in the interim of that to also generate revenue, but you should have the insurance in place. We're talking about building an individual economy or building a family economy. Your family should have an economy consisting of at least 9 streams of income. And so I want to work with you guys. The next stream that I will do, that won't be the free one that you guys are entitled to. The next one is going to be the entrepreneurship course. I do what people ask. And in the entrepreneurial course, I'm going to take the time out to show people the many things you can do with little to no money to generate revenue. I need not put a long list of things for me to tell people that day, because I got a long list of things that people could do for little to no money. Okay? To make money. I think that's going to be a valuable course, because sometimes, well, we know it takes some money to make some money, but that's cliche and that's not necessarily always true. Let's go to the next one. So here, we got real estate or legal fiction. That's the DVD in the book that I wrote. These things will be available on the app when the time comes. It'll be available for the app when the time comes, okay? So we'll get that right. But real estate or legal fiction are very good reading materials that help you in the process when it comes to this trust, because we want to establish you as a secure party creditor, because there are benefits to being a secure party creditor when it comes to investing in tax liens. And in general, there must be a security interest. In this particular case, the security interest will be the property, and you should protect the asset by way of the trust per a UCC1, preceded by a security agreement. This is the adult way and professional way to embark upon the acquisition of real estate. Just take the notes. Of course, these are some more good associated material, especially Richmond Palmer Finance Fiance. An introduction to the tax lien, tax deed. These things will be available on the actual site, on the actual app. Now, houses are the new credit cards. I wrote a book called Pennies Are for Millionaires and Houses Are the New Credit Cards. Phenomenal book, phenomenal book, phenomenal book. Called Pennies Are for Millionaires and Houses Are the New Credit Cards. I'm gonna stop sharing real quick so I could talk to you directly. So we want to make money. We want to get as much money as we can in real time possible. Here's one way we can do it relatively sooner than later. The insurance definitely is necessary. Your company co-signing you to build credit and then be allotted a large sum of money. You retitling new incomes to your trust, and then after retitling, assigning the equitable trust to the insurance policy. And also creating the trust so the trust makes you have control of your policy. We went over that yesterday. A lot of this is strategy. And sometimes you may say, how does one connect with the other? But I'm always going to remind you you learned that in the previous lesson, you'll come to terms with that in the next lesson. I'm always going to do that because it's about estate planning. So it has to be multi-layered. They made the system very complex in many ways, I believe, to discourage us from going on this path. But this is why we need coaches. You know, people have trainers, they have guidance counselors, they have therapists, they have coaches, they have psychologists. People have people in their corner to help them walk through different moments in their life, but we never have these people in our corner when it comes to health and when it comes to wealth. We don't have a health coach. Imagine someone saying, I'm a health coach, not a wealth coach. I'm a holistic health coach. How about that? Brother Light says things like that. I'm proud of it. I get you in the game. I'm a holistic health coach. Go in there, soldier. Go in there. Now I'm sub you out. Eating acid. All right. So I'm here for you guys. And I just want you guys to know that you do need some assistance. You need someone who either has experience. You need someone with experience. Let's just say that for sure. And you also need some confidence that you're actually doing the right thing. Because like I said, otherwise you'll get off the stream and you'll be like, man, it just sounded like it all made sense prior. So we don't want that to happen to you. All right. So here's the next thing. And what I'm going to do today is when I'm done with this stream, I'm going to close it out. We'll go to break and I'll open up the new stream. And the reason why I'm going to do that is so it doesn't take so long to load. And so whenever you want to access just the health, you can get that health. And when you want to access just the wealth, you can get the wealth. I left everything on the first one. So after troubleshooting and looking to be more refined in my approach and presentation, it behooves me, one, to separate it because I found out I can be at risk of losing all the information when it starts going past 2-3 hours. I don't want that to happen. So when I'm done with this particular program, I will close out and then I will open it back up again at the end of the break, and I'm going to go straight for the health aspect of the information. Okay, so I just wanted to make that clear to you as well. So houses are the new credit cards. I wrote a book called Pennies Are for Millionaires and Houses Are the New Credit Cards. All right. What does that mean? Pennies are for millionaires and houses are the new credit cards. Well, what this means is that let's focus on the houses on the new credit cards. You have what they call a home equity line of credit or a HELOC. And this is a revolving line of credit that can be allotted to you based on the equity of a property, based on this property's worth. I'll debrief you on what a tax lien is so we can understand what a tax deed is and we can realize the opportunity to generate revenue per a revolving line of credit predicated upon the equity of the property. Okay. And so let's begin. Property taxes are due on properties. There's an amount of time you could go delinquent on a property until which time the county government says, hey, you have to pay this because we're about to sell your debt. That is to say, we're about to sell what you owe in property taxes to somebody who's willing to invest. Stop. Why is this the case? Well, the county government, as it turns out, the mortgage comes by way of the loan or the banking institution, the financial institution that got you the property. It's the mortgage, right? However, the property taxes come from or are collected by the county government. And the reason why the county government is collecting these property taxes is because they're using their millages to allocate it towards school resources and the administrators thereof. So property taxes pay for school lunch, pay for the teachers and other administration. Property taxes pay for the programs, pay for the chairs and desks. And that's what property taxes generally pay for. Okay. And then property taxes also pay for the roads to be smooth, the highways, street lights, property taxes are used to pay for the fire department and pay for the police department. Property taxes are used for these things. So you'll notice there's a direct correlation between foreclosed properties and overcrowded, dilapidated schools, potholes, dark neighborhoods, little to no firemen available in the event of a fire. Okay? Because property taxes also pay for nurses and doctors' salaries quite often. And they also pay for some medical supplies, and they also keep the lights on in the hospital as well. So the more people paying their property taxes, the more advanced, sophisticated, or sustained the actual county or jurisdiction. So the county government says, hey, we're willing to offer somebody money, anybody money. We're willing to offer money to whom invests in someone's delinquent or past due property tax in exchange for a profit. Because so long as the property tax is paid, we can keep these roads smooth. We could pay these doctors. We could pay these lawyers. We could pay these teachers. We could pay these policemen. We could keep the street lights on. We can get some books in the school, and so forth and so on. So that's their stake. That's why they're interested. So the county government gives you a redemption period, which is the amount of time that a person could be past due, delinquent in their property taxes. New Jersey is 2 years. I just always use it as an example. So New Jersey has a 2-year redemption. Florida in some places 5, in other places 7. It's called a redemption period. Okay, bet. So now we have the redemption period, which is the amount of time you could go past due, delinquent on property taxes. And if you go past that time, that amount of time allotted to you to be delinquent, they'll generate a lien that represents an encumbrance. E-N. Cumbrance. C-U-M-B-R-A-N-C. Okay, encumbrance. So what'll happen is the county government says you're past due on your delinquent property taxes. Here in New Jersey, you only get 2 years to go delinquent. So now what we're going to do is generate a lien that represents some form of encumbrance, some form of debt obligation. And it'll be payable to whoever wants to invest in it. And therefore, the person who's responsible for this happening in the first place, the delinquent person, they'll have to pay the late fees, penalties, and the surcharges. So then you may say, well, if I invest in a tax lien, what happens when the person doesn't have the money to redeem? Most times and often, the bank will come in and the bank will say, hold on, we're not giving this property up. Because, oh, I forgot to tell you, the county government say, well, if nobody redeems, we're going to give you the property for the amount equal due in back taxes. So let's say you spend $4,000 on a tax lien and nobody redeems. You get to keep the $100,000 property that's worth $100,000. So let's say somebody ain't paid, they pass due delinquent property taxes for 2 years. Each of the 2 years is worth $2,000. You spend $4,000 and the property happens to be worth $100,000. The county government is saying, look, you could pay the real estate and closing fees on part of the foreclosure fees. You could pay that associated fee. That might be $1,500, $1,800, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, you're basically getting the property for the amount due or equal in property tax delinquency. So this means you can get a $100,000 property for essentially $4,000 in some associated fees. Think about that. You can get a $100,000 property for someone being delinquent or past due for $1,000. That's if no one redeems. So generally, the banking institution that sold the property to the individual that went delinquent and is yet to redeem, the bank normally steps in and says, hold on, family, we're not doing that. And I'm going to tell you why we're not doing that. The bank normally steps in and says, look, okay, this guy paid us like $30,000 so far for his mortgage. he owes $70,000 more. But why should we let him let this $100,000 property go for $4,000 when we sold it for $100,000? We didn't get paid yet. So the banker normally step in and say, look, we'll pay the late fees, penalties, and surcharges. And what the county government does, they make the late fees, the penalties, and the surcharges relatively high as a means to entice investors to pay for people's delinquent bills sooner, so they can use the money and allocate it towards the things that sustain the county. The bank, on the other hand, says, hey, if I'm selling this property for $100,000, I'll be damned if someone gets it for $4,000. We already made some money off of the person that bought this house. Why not take it back again and resolicit it, put it back on the property, put it back on the market for somebody else who can't afford it, but start making some payments towards it. And that way we keep flipping this house over and over and over without actually having to flip this house. Then there is the other occasion where the bank, neither the owner, steps in to redeem. And when that happens, when this happens, guess what happens when this happens? When this happens, you know what the bank does? I mean, if the bank didn't pay and the property owner didn't pay, if we want to call him an owner, the debtor didn't pay. Let's say the debtor, you know what I'm talking about, the so-called property owner who got the roses and everything, and now they're going to foreclose on them, right? So when the debtor doesn't pay and the bank doesn't pay, the county government simply gives you the property. And at that point, the tax lien turns into the tax deed. That's one way to get the tax deed. One way to get the tax deed is through tax lien. In any event, someone doesn't redeem, you get the tax deed. You get the property for the amount due, equal, and delinquent property taxes, which totally contradicts, in most cases, the assessed value. Of course, you have to do your research and make sure there's no child support lien that's on the property. So now you inherit someone's child support when you buy the property. You know, stuff like that can happen. You stay away from that. Okay? So then there is the other instance where you say, I just want to buy the deed in itself. And so without making this a long and drawn out process, I don't want to make it a long and drawn out process, but I do want to do my best to make sure you understand what I'm saying and the opportunities that are abound. You can just go straight for buying a tax deed now. And you're going to be buying the tax deed based on the encumbrance value. You're going to be buying the tax deed based on that which is due. And when you buy the property based on that which is due, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get it for significantly lower than what its fair market value is, or its assessed value. Of course, you win more through the tax lien. It's a longer process, and you got to roll the dice. Hopefully, I get the property. If you don't, you still get a percentage back. When you invest in a lien, be 12%, 15, 21, 27. Some place goes high as 30. Depends where you're going. 30% ain't bad on a return now. Now there's 12, to keep it real with you. Okay, so now what we want to discuss is what happens when you buy the tax deed direct. Let's say you buy a tax deed for, let me do it like this for real. Let's say you buy a tax deed for like $2,200. You did the research, did the title search, you did all this other stuff. I taught this in them previous classes called due diligence. You buy the due diligence course, you sit there. I'm walking you through it. If you compile all these different courses, you should be straight. Come think about it. I'm doing it this way because I'm not always going to be available to do consultations or mentorships. So I leave enough information. And even in that, I believe I need to start using these videos for people who pay for the mentorships and consultations for things they need to do in their own free time. I believe that's what I need to do. Because the more proficient a person is, the further I can go with them after coaching. So I show you these things step by step as far as the research is concerned. I've been there, done that. I'm not going to give you a whole bunch of PDFs from different courses. I do want to share, so that's in my spirit. So that's when I'm like, let me take this PDF from this course. Y'all have that. Let it marinate. But the courses still have so much to offer you because there's things that I say that's not on there, and there's things that's on there that I may neglect to say. But when we put it together, we really make it happen. Or I mean, some things are just more technical, and I put it in there so you can just always reference it. Okay. Peace and blessings, great money. So let's say you spend $2,000. But someone say, yo, why you spend $2,000 on a vacant lot? That's just dirt. Somebody said, yo, Polite took some people to a tax deed auction so they can buy just dirt. And he recorded it live with pride. Because I also teach houses on new credit cards. So yeah, he bought that dirt proudly for a little less than 2,000 actually, but we're gonna round it to 2,000. He bought that dirt proudly for $2,000. And guess what happened? That dirt was worth 65 grand. And he had pretty decent credit. It was a little over 700. So you can get as high as 70% of the equity. Well, he got about 60% of the equity in this particular case. So $65,000. Let's think about that. $65,000 is 6,500 times 2. So 6,500 times 2 is what, family? That'll put us at 13,000. We do it again, that'll put us at 26,000. We do it again, that'll put us at 39,000. So he got $39,000 out of $65,000 from the equity of the property that he invested $2,000 in. But everybody else thought it was a landfill. Everybody thought it was garbage. Everyone said Polite's nuts. He made you buy a piece of dirt for $2,000 and you walked out there proud, and he had the audacity to record the auction and record you. And people went and they looked it up online and said, man, he bought a vacant lot. Polite out here stunting like he teaching people how to buy real property. And that's what it's actually called, real property. It's funny, but for some reason they don't call it real property. He ain't buying no house. Oh, yes, he did. Because he got a revolving line of credit of $39,000. Now, I don't know where you can have $2,000 and get back $39,000 for it. I don't know if you say, yo, fam, if I give you $2,000, would you entrust me with $39,000 and allow me to pay it back? As long as I pay it back, you keep allowing me to access that $39,000. So what happens is, when you go to the bank and you say, I would like to get a HELOC, so long as you got the deed to that property, it takes place pretty much the same day for the most part, as far as the processing is concerned. And they give you a card with a lower APR than that of a credit card, which represents the amount of equity allocated into that account as you are approved for the HELOC, even with the worst credit. If you kind of tilting the scales between the upper 600s and lower 700s, you might get a 60% rate of equity. You might get a 60% equity out. You might get 60% of the equity out of the property. So in this particular case, it was a $65,000 property. It was a vacant lot that he got for $2,000. Nobody wanted it. Everybody was like, why is he jumping around? He's excited. So much so that people like, yo, I got to find out how to research what the heck that is. What is the numbers that they use in there? Let me put these parcel numbers, as they call it. Let me type this parcel number in. Nah, this can't be. It's yo, them cats is frauding. He's excited because he spent $2,000 on a vacant lot. $2,000 on a vacant lot. And that dirt was only $65,000. But when he got a home equity line of credit, he got access to $39,000 that he knew where to invest. He already had a plan for it. He sat there, we studied. Did research. Hopefully we get this one or that one, that one or that one. We already knew what he would more likely be approved of based on his credit. So 2,000 in exchange for 39,000. He got the deed in about a month and change time. He didn't even have to pay the whole 2,000 there. The tax deed auction allowed him to put half the money down and make sure he paid the other half before the month was out. And then he got the deed after. Then he went to the bank, told the bank, I would like a home equity line of credit. He made sure he had a relationship with the bank for at least 3 years. The one that I suggested that would probably give him the highest yield. Went there, got his new card with the equity in it, and that's all she wrote. So I teach pennies off of millionaires and houses of the new credit cards. And I mean, damn, that's access to 5 figures that quick. That'll hold you over till the insurance money's rolls in. That'll hold you over until we get your wealth score quotient right. I do believe that'll hold you over. I said it pretty simple now. I can tell you all the particulars and the history of HELOCs, home equity line of credits, and money, modern money mechanics, MMM, and break down the Federal Reserve. I can go there, but that would be a waste of time. I don't need all those slides to do that, to stretch this thing out. I don't need to do that. In fact, I done said enough. Because if you don't know what to do with this information now, or if you ain't got an idea what direction to go, I'm saying, man, you need to get into the title search classes. Get the title search class so you can do the research properly so you do it yourself. Or know when you have to pay someone because it's your time. You don't want to be too consumed. Or say, okay, I'm going to hire this guy for the consultant. I'm going to hire him for the mentoring. Or I'm going to study these courses and use this as my guide navigation. I'm picking it up pretty good and I'm do it myself. I mean, in either event, there's plenty of money to be made. And with that dollar amount, if you got a business model that makes sense, you'll never have to return again to having to be in a space where you say, I need money. This stuff is relatively simple now. This is not over the head. Well, how come you know polite and nobody else know? No, some people know it's just a disconnect between those who know and those who don't, because those who know don't live around us. Obviously, why would they? When I say us, we mean our people living harder, not smarter, because of the disconnect. Remember what we said yesterday. Who or what is the oppressor? The oppressor is the lack of knowledge of that which you need to obtain in order to further advance you, your family, or your community. I ain't say it like that yesterday, but this one sounds more saucy. But anyway, a lack of knowledge is your oppressor. Nothing else. The disconnect is what's hindering us. So now we just got to go through, how do we do the due diligence? Did that already. UCC, because when you acquire the property, you want to retitle it, you want to protect it. There's going to be benefits to it. There's real estate benefits to retitling this information or retitling this property to the trust. And then if we assign it to the insurance policy, this trust has the value of the very properties or assets you retitle to it. We may be able to leverage this information, this equity, to our better advantage and come up with something even more special in terms of opportunities to make money. You walking with me? I'm just talking to you. Just talking to you. Okay? All right. Talk to me in the chat, man. Y'all with it? You feeling this? You feeling good about it? Write something in the chat. Make sure. I want to make sure y'all walking with me. I want to see you in the chat. Y'all focused, though. I can say that. Them chat rooms that be live don't be focused like that. You guys are focused. How do you get the old classes? They will be made available on the app. It should be available, I'm hoping, this week. The old classes will be there, but what we'll do, we'll update you too, and we'll give you descriptions. I'm sorry. Hello? Okay. Lit. Thank you, family. Yeah, the due diligence course is off the chain. Yeah, it's all off the chain. Well, you know, if you are like in a super rush, you can always email me at brotherpolite45 and say, Brother Polite, I took the course. Here's my phone number. I want the due diligence course or the UCC course. You need both when it comes to real estate. And you move forward. It's that simple. You move forward and you do your thing. Walking with me. Be free. Lighthearted. That's what's up, Ken. Great details. Thank you. Just making sure y'all walking with me. I take pride in what I'm delivering, but I need to make sure that you guys are comfortable with what I'm delivering. And I don't know why I be thinking this is going to take a little bit of time. But, oh, yeah. Well, I'm good. I'm good. I went over good stuff. Thank goodness. Because I'm like I said, my goal is not to make it long and drawn out. My goal is to say what you need to hear and give you a direction or some mode of application. All right. So I wrote this book, Buy the House, Sign the Contract, Protect the Asset, No Mortgage, No Protest, No Jurisdiction. You know me. I got to do the title, then I got to do the subtitle because I got to get all this information out of my brain. This will be available when the time comes. Just keep it in mind. It's very important. Here's an example, the tax lien. Okay. The tax lien in Kentucky, as an example, is a tax lien state with 120 counties granting an annual yield of 12%. Kentucky has a 1-year redemption period. A secured party creditor has the right to execute an action against the one that is supposed to redeem and collect on the amount that corresponds with the certificate, or even can take action in the form of the borrower's other personal interests, even if they are not related to the property invested upon KRS. Ain't that interesting? 134.420. In fact, both practices can be executed simultaneously. The borrower can be an individual, bank, or other. The same rule applies. So here we realize that being a secured party creditor puts you in a space that's privy when it comes to real estate. So I think that's cool. What's up, baby? It's a screen. It's a screen share, so they can't see you.
Okay. Hi, Daddy.
What's up, baby?
Sure.
And my daughter rude, so I had to do an intermission. Give her a holler. Okay. So here's what I want you to do. For homework, I want you to also call the county government in your local community. These are good questions. We're going to do those Q&As for the free course too. We're going to do those Q&As because that's when I want to know you did the homework, and based on what you did, I want you to ask me, so Polite, I did this and this is what they said. Or I did this and I hit this roadblock, because I want us to behave as a community. This is New Covenant business right here. So I will also suggest y'all join New Covenant if you're not, or reinstate with New Covenant, because this is what we do. We put the think tank together to make sure everybody makes it across. So I've created so many different opportunities. I created membership opportunities. I created consulting opportunities. I created conscious advisory mentorship opportunities, books, DVDs, live streams. The combination of these different opportunities, you don't have to access all of them, but if you access some of them, and also these courses, if you take advantage of these things, you should be pretty proficient and on your path, or have some kind of direction. The info for New Covenant, everything is relying on this app. I'm waiting for the app next week. But again, if you're interested, just email brotherpolite45@gmail.com, or you even text the office line. You guys have the office line. Just don't do it during the time we doing classes. So that way we can cater to the people who have class questions or maybe having problems getting the link or something to that effect. I'm answering you guys questions from the chat as well while I'm reading the chat, and then I'm looking back here. So I want you guys for homework to call the county government and say the following. Greetings. Say, my name is, and you say your name. Say, who might I ask that I'm speaking to? Always get their name. When you say that, you got people's attention. Then say, I'm from, tell them what city, state, county you're in. And I would like to know if you can give me some assistance on finding out when will your county be conducting another tax lien or tax deed sale. I would like to know how, if possible, can I have the list of parcels that will be available at the auction sent to me. You also want to say to them, is there a website where I can get a general information about the upcoming auctions, or is calling the county like I have my best methodology? Also ask them, does the county have a financing program available? Because sometimes they have financing programs available where you can purchase a deed and don't have to necessarily pay all the money for it. But you can just make sure you lock it down, secure it, and it's yours. Where will the auction be held, and how does one go about registering? What type of title of the property will be issued upon purchase? I want you to take the answer down. Write each of these answers down. And when we do our stream, when we do our free stream, and you know what? I'm going to tell y'all this. I'm going to make one of those days, we're going to consecrate the time. Because I'm going to do a health one and I got to do a wealth one. And then I'm going to do one. It's going to be on either one of the 2 days that we do this, or the same day for the free stream. I'm going to address the things that you did for homework personally. And I'm going to do my best to get through to as many of you as possible. So if you say, Polite, I called them, they told me this, they told me that, they told me this, they told me that, they told me this, they told me that. I am going to work with you and talk to you about it. And other people can listen, and then they can say, well, I got told something similar. Thank you. I know what to do from here. I want to do my best to make sure that you guys not only know that what I teach is accurate, that I'm commissioning you to use it and go out there, bring it back, and wherever there may be a technicality or wherever there may be something that's a bit opaque, I'm willing to give you clarity. And we could do this to the benefit of everybody that's on these streams. And I think that is tremendous, because this means that we're moving forward. We're all focused. We're all in the same state of mind. And we've created a study group amongst us. In one way or the other, we have to become successful. There's no way around it at this particular point in time. We would have to become successful at this point. And damn near all at the same time. You're going to ask them what form of payment is the most conducive. And is the auction a premium auction, or bid down the interest auction, or other format? Because sometimes they auction the raise in premiums, or sometimes they auction to bid down the interest. If you're looking for a tax lien and they say, look, we're going to give you 21%. Then someone said, I'm willing to get it for 20%. Someone else said, I want it for 19%. Someone said, I'm willing to go 18%. I'm willing to only get 8% of my money back. And normally when people want to get a very low percentage of the money back, is because they believe that they're going to be able to get the property by default, the fact that no one's going to redeem. So they're going the tax lien route so they get to scave that much more money off of it, as opposed to hoping that it goes into a tax deed. So sometimes you have bid down the interest. It ain't just the money. Oh, it costs this much money. Who wants to buy it for an extra $200 or $300? No. Sometimes a premium auction. Sometimes it's a bid down the interest. So you want to ask them for as much as information as possible. Even go down there yourself. Go down there yourself and get that information. Why not? Real talk. Okay. When someone asks, powerful, how do they decide your rate for the insurance policy? First of all, do the homework and go to the insurance people. Those things, I always consider insurance as a mortgage for the human being, not the house. And so there's factors that there goes your scores again. You're scored based on your environment, the level of knowledge that your parents have, their level of schooling and education, your level of school and education. In fact, does poverty run in the family? Poverty is a disease as well. They want to know poverty runs in the family so they can understand if there's any inherited wealth. What's the likeliness of you becoming a failure or a convict? I mean, these things are important because if we know this Negro is likely to die because of the neighborhood that he lives in and his activities, plus he's smoking and he's drinking, and he's constantly in and out the hospital, he got kidney problems. But if they know all of that, then your insurance policy is going to be a bit different from somebody who's healthy and living in a more reputable neighborhood. Because you're most likely out of here. See, so it's going to be different variables to answer your question. Yeah, if you're interested in New Covenant, you just go to brotherpolite45@gmail.com. Always leave your name and your number and say, hey, I'm interested in New Covenant. I'm interested in consulting. I'm interested in mentorship. I'm interested in those other courses. I need those courses. And we'll figure it out. But when the app is up, you ain't going to have to email me all that stuff. It'd be very workable. But for now, we could do it the old-fashioned way. Okay? So that's it for that. You actually got the UCC docs. I wanted to use it again today, but I'm going to keep the time constraint where it's at, because every time I say I ain't going to go for so long, I do. Do the homework. Come back. I'll show you how to fill out the UCC form when you actually, if one of you actually purchase a tax lien or something, under the right guidance, man. Please don't jump out the window. But if you're comfortable or you want to buy a little cheap lien, I'll show you what to do with that, with the trust, and I'll show you how to fill out the paperwork and everything. I'll show you how to file it and where to mail it out. I'll do it. I don't mind. And we do that during the free course during my Q&A time. I got the documents right here on my computer. I'll tell you what to write and what to fill out. That's not a problem. I just want to know that someone's doing the work. So if somebody go out there, do the work, and you come back here, yo, Polite, I got this right here. Take advantage of this type of time. Because we don't do free time. We do paid time. We got to get paid during our time. We can't be doing free time. I'm not down with free time. Take this opportunity. Go in. Okay, so we've disclosed 3 different ways between the last 2 days to make sure that you can get 5 to 6 different figures. I want to set you guys on your path between perusing through different insurance policies. You guys know you got to come to us for the trust, or you can go inquire about other trusts, but we've designed the trust to be an irrevocable life insurance trust. You go elsewhere, you have to let them know that you want to have a trust for the purposes of it working alongside your insurance policy, because you want an insurance policy that has cash value. You work with us, we already know what you need, and we're definitely going to make it as affordable as possible so you don't got to pay the same thing that's out there. And only when people want you to fund the trust, they only want 50K upward for a trust to be funded in the first place. So just keep all that in mind. Okay, and then we talked about the tax lien and tax deeds to get you that 6-figure, 5-figure assets, and that's actually a lot quicker. The only thing you need to do is just know how to do your due diligence or the proper research. You go out there yourself. For the free class to come up, I'll give you some direction and incentive where to go and what to do with that. Just on the strength. And I want to hear you guys have gone out, called people, took notes. Tell me what you heard. Let me share with you. I'm going to give y'all the date for the free class. And keep in mind, even if you're not available for that date, you will have access to that free class 7 days thereafter. So don't trip. When it goes down, it goes down. But of course, I want us to be able to do it together. I know you guys are going to be doing your holiday stuff. So it's kind of hard to pick doing something for the rest of the weeks to come. Because, I mean, there's a holiday every week straight into Valentine's Day. We ain't never going to get a break. You know, and I don't want you booed up and hearing my voice. Because I know you hear my voice plenty of times. Because every time I talk to somebody, yeah, he be playing your voice. Well, I'm trying to take it from me. I ain't going to go there because children in the room. But the point being is, what's wrong with you? Guys got to mature, man. I'm around the room with some immature grown adults. But yeah, so I'm here. I'm in the presence of people's households quite a bit. So I'm going to find a day that I think is pretty ideal. maybe that app is out, we can do a poll and everybody can pick what's the best day and best time. And then we can get the statistics on it and say, hey, the majority of us are available here for whatever reason, Tuesday at 1 a.m. And I'd be like, yeah, you crazy. It won't be me. Right. But it all depends. It all depends because it could be Eastern time and I could be on the West. But we'll close this session out. Keep those UCC accelerated courses there. Look them over, but definitely get the UCC accelerated course. But I'm going to go over it regardless. But what I want is tangible results, tangible evidence. I'm going to close out for now. We're going to stop for about 30, 35 minutes. And then I'm going to create a new link. You'll get it in the email. And that new link is going to have the new PDF for the health. And alongside that new PDF for the health, you'll also have what? The link itself. Okay, and we'll be able to do our holistic mathematics. So I'm going to talk to you guys. Take a break, take a walk, get something to drink, start getting ready to do some homework. It's the start of the work week. Please use this coming week to access these notes and apply them. The application of knowledge is wisdom. Be wise in your movement this week. Do not take this information and say, man, that was dope, and wait to the next course. And just don't be so comfortable being able to say some new words, terms, phraseologies, and ideas to other people. Use the information, because I think it'd be a powerful thing if everybody that's taking these courses, if we got a percentage rate where we could say, yo, you know what? Your people are actually making bread from these courses. I think that'd be dope. And I don't necessarily need a testimonial, but if you want to, you feel free. The app is actually going to have some testimonials. Our last guy actually, I was going to post it on Instagram, but I'm waiting for the app, and then I use it to market the app. There's a brother, he made $40,000 with Brother Polite Profit. He actually sent the check and everything. So get check out. I said, brother, you ain't got to send me the check, man. I got to send you this. I just came home from prison not too long ago. I never thought I'd see this much money. So he made some money off of real estate. He's going to do a video testimonial for me. I actually got the video testimonial, and he actually showed the check. So I'm going to put the check up there with his permission and this video testimonial. It's going to be on the app, and I'm going to put it on Instagram as well. And just let people know. You too can succeed. He's my most recent that's made 5 figures off of what I teach. Okay. And though it was mentorship is pretty similar to everything I'm teaching here, you know, because it really clicked with him when he did these videos, because I was sending him videos as part of the mentorship. He's actually the one that inspired the idea, because he said the videos really helped him during the mentorship, so he could keep up with what I be saying when I'm doing the coaching during the 30-minute sessions. So I'm going to add these videos to it. But I say, I want to do a whole bunch of different video sessions and deal with things specifically so that people could just go to that category. Right now, I just be combining as much as things as possible to catch people up. But eventually what I want to do is be able to just say, I'm targeting just this and this alone. And then maybe we could create a curriculum out of that, join the university out of that. And I don't have to always be just hands-on. So much would accumulate in that body of work that I could just fall back, and it could just be available whenever people need it. And you just pay one price to access it all, instead of pay for each one that keeps coming out. That's the goals. That's what I intend to do. I'll be talking back with you guys. I love y'all. Thank you for listening. I'm shutting this down, and it's going to go right back up. It's going to go right back up in about 30 to 40 minutes. We'll be back up on the break. Get you something to drink, something to eat, and we'll be back to work. You might want to wait to eat until I do the stream. You might not want to eat after I do the stream. It's kind of crazy out here. Peace.